Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive mystery of human psychology, exactly why we buy what we buy. Let's get right into it because understanding these hidden forces, well, it literally affects every single one of us every single day. Okay, picture this. You've got two people. They're the exact same age, they live in the exact same zip code, and they bring home the exact same paycheck every month. Demographically, basically identical twins. But when the weekend rolls around, one goes out and drops cash on a flashy luxury watch, while the other spends that exact same amount booking a rugged, off-the-grid backpacking trip. Like, why does that happen? What's driving this wild paradox where the backgrounds match perfectly, but the spending habits are completely night and day? Well, the answer boils down to personal factors. These are the unique, highly individual characteristics that directly influence what, when, where, and how you and I actually buy things. We're not talking about broad cultural trends here. We're talking about factors specific to you. They're essentially your consumer fingerprint. So, here's our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. The consumer buying mystery. 2. Age, job, and wallet. 3. The AIO lifestyle model. 4. Personality versus lifestyle. 5. Defining the self. And finally, 6. The AOE LPS formula. All right, section 1, the consumer buying mystery. The baseline truth we have to accept here is that every single consumer is unique. Just think about your own family for a second. You probably grew up under the same roof, ate the same meals, had the exact same social circles, but your tastes, your priorities, your spending habits, they probably look completely different for your siblings. Personal factors are what explain that gap. It's exactly why you might eagerly drop your disposable income on the latest tech while your sister saves hers for VIP concert tickets. Moving on to section 2, age, job, and wallet. It's honestly fascinating how predictably our priorities shift as we age. Like when we're kids, our whole world revolves around toys and snacks, right? Then we hit our teenage years, and suddenly it's all about fashion and gadgets. Young adults? We're pouring money into education, careers, electronics, maybe some travel. But then look at what happens in middle age. The wallet shifts heavily toward family needs, housing, insurance, and investments. And finally, as senior citizens, the focus naturally pivots to healthcare, comfort, and financial security. Our age fundamentally dictates our needs. But, age is really just piece number 1. Next up is occupation. A person's day job heavily dictates what they need to buy just to get by in their role. Think about a corporate lawyer and a construction manager. They might earn the exact same salary, but their spending priorities totally different. Their jobs dictate their clothing, transportation, professional equipment, and their tech needs. Smart organizations know this, which is exactly why they build products tailored to specific occupational groups. And of course, we absolutely can't talk about purchasing without talking about the wallet itself, your economic circumstances. Now, this isn't just your income, it's the whole picture. Savings, assets, borrowing capacity. That overall depth determines your actual purchasing power. It dictates brand choice, product quality, and whether you're springing for luxury or sticking to the basics. Plus, crucially, when economic uncertainty hits, these are the exact financial conditions that trigger us to suddenly tighten our belts and get cautious. That brings us to section 3, the AIO lifestyle model. Modern marketers know that just looking at income or age, it's just not enough anymore. They rely heavily on the AIO lifestyle model. That stands for activities, interests, and opinions. It's a brilliant framework for mapping out how people actually live their day-to-day lives. Like, what are their hobbies? What are they interested in outside the office? What are their opinions on big social issues? The big takeaway here is that lifestyle reflects how a person actively chooses to spend their time and money. And this brings us right back to that very first mystery we talked about. Lifestyle choices are the exact reason those two neighbors with identical salaries spend so completely differently. One is chasing the activity and interest of an outdoor adventure, while the other is fully invested in the status and opinion tied to luxury goods. Next up, section 4, personality versus lifestyle. Okay, we really need to clear this up because grasping this difference is a total light bulb moment. Personality is internal. It's your unique psychological makeup, it's pretty stable over time, and it reflects who you are. Lifestyle, though, that's external. It's your way of living, and it can absolutely change based on your circumstances. It reflects how you live. So if you get a massive promotion, your lifestyle might change overnight. You might buy a bigger house or a nicer car. But your core personality, that stays exactly the same. Personality is who you are. Lifestyle is how you live. Moving to section 5,
defining the self.
So, beyond just personality traits, we all walk around with what's called a self-concept. Very simply, this is the image that a person holds about themselves. And for marketing, this is where things get super fascinating. Consumers actively choose products that match or reinforce this internal image. We literally use the things we buy to tell a story to ourselves about who we are.
And it's a pretty complex story, right? We actually juggle 4 different selves. You've got your actual self, how you see yourself right now in reality. Then there's the ideal self, the person you really aspire to become. Next is the social self, how you think other people perceive you. And finally, the ideal social self, how you desperately wish others perceived you. Take a second and think about your last major purchase. Which of these 4 selves were you feeding? Were you getting a gym membership for that ideal self? Or maybe a trendy jacket for your ideal social self?
All right, our final section, Section 6, the AOLPS formula.
These personal factors don't just operate in a vacuum, they actually trigger this massive behavioral domino effect. Think about it. Your age heavily influences your occupation. In turn, your occupation directly affects your income and economic reality. That income creates the boundaries that shape your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is an external reflection of your internal personality. And finally, that personality heavily influences your deep internal self-concept. It's this continuous loop that determines what you ultimately pull your credit card out for.
To make this whole complex web super easy to remember long after this explainer is over, just use the memory trick. AOELPS. A for age, O for occupation, E for economic circumstances, L for lifestyle, P for personality, and S for self-concept. Those are your 6 core pillars of individual consumer behavior.
Which brings us to this seriously powerful insight from the source material. Quote, consumers do not purchase products solely because they need them. They often purchase products that reflect who they are or who they aspire to become. End quote. This perfectly proves that modern marketing is way beyond just selling a utility or a function. It's about deeply connecting with consumer identity, finding the actual human being behind the transaction.
So, I want to leave you with a thought for the next time you're standing in a store aisle or just mindlessly browsing online. Take a hard look at your own buying habits. Check out the items sitting in your cart right now. Which of those 6 personal factors is truly driving your wallet? Is it your age, your lifestyle, or maybe your ideal self trying to make a little appearance? It's definitely a mystery worth solving. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning why you buy what you buy.